You've watched all the videos. You've read all the books. You've tried 3 different sleep methods, and you're still here at 2 a.m. wondering what you're doing wrong. Here's the truth. There's nothing wrong with you or your baby. What's missing is a plan that's actually designed for your own family. Today, we're putting everything together, no matter what we've learned before. No more throwing spaghetti at the walls, hoping something sticks. We're going to create a personalized sleep plan that considers your baby's temperament, your family's values, your living situation, and your mental health, creating a plan that works for the humans actually living in your house. I'm Jen, Nurse Practitioner, IBCLC, and over the last 9 episodes, we've covered everything from newborn sleep basics to special circumstances, and now it's time to take all that information and turn it into a plan that you can actually implement and adjust as your family grows and changes. Stay tuned. So before you can create an effective sleep plan, you need to honestly assess where you're starting from. Let's walk through the key areas to evaluate. You need to take a week and track your baby's patterns. What time does your baby naturally seem tired? How long are the current sleep stretches? Where does your baby sleep the best? What currently helps your baby fall asleep? And how does your baby typically wake up? Crying, chatting, needing immediate attention? Don't judge these patterns, just observe them and document them. Next, we're going to think baby's temperament. Some babies are naturally more sensitive to environmental changes. Some are more or less adaptable to new routines. Some are higher or lower energy, and some are more or less persistent when upset. Understanding your baby's temperament helps you choose which method that will work best with their personality, not against it. Next, you have to consider your family's values and comfort levels. Ask yourself, how much crying are you comfortable with? Be honest, there's no right answer here. How important is it that everyone can put the baby to sleep, not just one parent? What's your philosophy on independence versus attachment? How long do you want to handle night wakings? Do you want them long term? Do you know how to do them short term? And what did your own parents do that you want to repeat or avoid? Consider your life circumstances right now. What is your current living situation? Are you in an apartment? Do you have small rooms? Does your baby have their own room? Do you have roommates? Do you have extended family with you? Is your baby sharing a room with a sibling? Consider work schedules and return to work timelines. Are we heading to daycare soon? Are we having to get up early in the morning for that new routine of work and scheduling? Does your partner have availability to help? What's your partner's schedule like? Do you want to do a later bedtime so the partner has more time to be home with baby? Or is it better to be earlier so you have more alone time together with your partner? What are your other children's needs and schedules? What's your own mental health and energy level? And what support system do you have already in place? Some parents have non-negotiables, and those are the things you absolutely will not compromise on. Maybe it's continuing to breastfeed on demand. Maybe it's baby sleeping in your same room for the first entire year. Maybe it's you want to avoid every cry out method there is. And maybe it's everyone getting at least 4 hours of consecutive sleep. I tend to find these early non-negotiables can help you choose compatible approaches to sleep training. As a nurse practitioner, I want to be very clear. When sleep issues require professional medical attention, you don't try to sleep through these red flags. Number 1, significant changes in breathing patterns during sleep, excessive sweating during sleep, blue lips or fingernails during sleep or upon waking, extreme difficulty waking up or baby seems unusually lethargic. There's a fever along with those sleep changes. Signs of dehydration, including fewer wet diapers, sunken fontanelle, which is the soft spot on the top of their head, no tears when crying, poor weight gain or even weight loss, and any developmental regression. Those are an immediate need for an evaluation, so you either call your pediatrician for a same-day visit or you go to the emergency room. You can consult your pediatrician before sleep training if your baby was born prematurely, if there's any ongoing medical condition or medications that need to be documented and talked about with your pediatrician, if there's any concerns at all about your baby's growth or development, if there's excessive spitting up or signs of reflux that might interfere with sleep, if there's any family history of sleep disorders, or if you're seeing concerning behavioral changes. Consider a sleep professional if you've tried multiple attempts for sleep training for 2 to 3 weeks without any improvement, your mental health is significantly suffering. There's major conflict between partners about sleep approaches. You have multiple children with different sleep needs, or baby has specific medical needs that require a modified approach to these generalized sleep training methods. Always trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. You know your baby better than anyone, so don't let anyone, including me, talk you out of seeking professional help if you think you need it and if you're concerned. There are some instances where you need to pause your sleep training plan, and that can include an illness for you or your baby, a major life transition, whether you're moving, starting daycare, family emergencies. If there's any significant developmental leaps where all of a sudden your baby's learning to crawl or rolling or something dramatic, or if there's any mental health concern that's declining rather than improving, and that's for parents. Let's talk timelines. One of the biggest mistakes I see families make is having unrealistic expectations about timelines. Let's set you up for success so you know what to expect. For newborns 0 to 3 months, focus on establishing routines. We talked about the easy routine in one of the previous videos. You can look at that. We're not sleep training. We're just learning how to get through routines and learning those baby sleepy cues. They can sleep 2 to 4 hour stretches, and that's great. By 3 to 4 months, you can start doing gentle methods, like getting your baby in the bassinet, maybe padding while their baby's falling asleep. You can expect maybe 1 4 to 6 hour stretch, and then waking up for feeding, and then maybe another one. And that would be awesome. At 4 to 6 months, most of these methods can be implemented. Success would be sleeping through the night 4 times a week within 2 to 6 weeks. After 6 months, you can really start seeing those faster results, and you could see consistent sleep skills within 1 to 4 weeks. Success does not look like baby never waking up at night. That's not always going to be the case. You're going to have babies who stay up a little bit longer sometimes. There's going to be fussing, and you're going to have some sleep regressions. Those are all normal and expected. What success does look like is that babies can fall asleep pretty independently most nights. Night wakings are brief, and baby can return to sleep pretty quickly. Overall sleep duration is age appropriate. Your family is feeling more rested, and you have strategies to handle those difficult nights that you know are going to come. Measure your progress weekly. Look for small improvements. Maybe your baby fusses for 10 minutes instead of 20. Maybe in week 2, you see some good nights mixed with some challenging ones. Maybe after a month, you see more consistent patterns. And then to that second month, you really can fine tune and handle those regressions. Keep a sleep log. You're not going to recognize those patterns that are improving on a day-to-day basis, but after several days or a week, you're going to see bigger changes than you might realize. You'll see a bedtime that's more consistent. You'll take a number of how many minutes it took baby to fall asleep independently from day 1. It'll be different on day 5. You're going to see a log on wake up time. How long did they stay awake before they started showing those sleepy cues? And any notable factors that are happening in that week. Teething, visitors, scheduling changes, you name it, document it. Let's talk about when to adjust your sleep training plan if you don't see any improvement after 2 weeks. Reassess your approach. Is it truly compatible with your baby's temperament? Are you being consistent? Are you considering the timing? Is your baby going through a big developmental leap that you weren't expecting? Are their teeth coming through? Check it out. And then reevaluate your expectations. Are your expectations different from what your baby is actually capable of doing? Remember, progress isn't always linear. You're going to have plateaus, you'll have regressions, and then you'll get better over time. Your mental health isn't separate from sleep training. They're intimately connected. The more sleep you have, the better your mental health capacity, but the crying can also have a dramatic effect on our mental health as moms and dads. So put a sleep plan that works for your baby and that doesn't destroy your mental health. Recognize mental health red flags. If you start feeling persistent anxiety, sadness, or hopelessness, if you have difficulty bonding with your baby, if you have intrusive thoughts about harming yourself or your baby or your partner, If you excessively worry that something interferes with your daily life and you don't know how to stop the worry cycle, if you're feeling like you're not a great parent most of the time, or you have any physical symptoms like panic attacks or insomnia or loss of appetite, if you experience any of these, please reach out to your OB or your primary care provider. Postpartum depression and anxiety are treatable, but you've got to speak up for yourself. Be your own advocate. Mental health support during sleep training would look like 7 things that we need to include. 1, setting realistic expectations. Progress takes time. You're not failing if it's hard. 2, tag team approach. If you have a partner, take turns handling those difficult nights. The person who's off duty should actually rest, not just be a comfort person for the person who's actually trying to do it. 3, daytime recovery. If you had a rough night, adjust your daytime expectations. The dishes can wait. You can take a nap. Number 4, connection with other parent groups. Sometimes it's nice to know that you're not the only one in this situation. Number 5, professional support. Consider therapy, especially if you're dealing with postpartum depression. Number 6, self-care. Non-negotiables. That could be taking a walk, grabbing a coffee with a friend. You consider 2 to 3 things that are your non-negotiables and things that will help you get through the hard days and protect those. And number 7, communicate with your partner. Be honest about your feelings, be honest about your sleep deprivation and how that affects your relationship. When sleep training is harming your mental health, sometimes that stress of sleep training outweighs the benefits. So signs to pause on that sleep training would be if your anxiety about sleep is increasing rather than decreasing. If you're avoiding your baby or feeling resentful, pause. If the process is creating significant conflict in your relationship because you're not on the same page, take a break. If you're not sleeping even when baby is sleeping because of your anxiety, don't do it. It's okay to pause, reassess, and try a different approach that you're actually in a better headspace for. So let's put this all together and create a personalized plan for you and your baby in a step-by-step approach. Step 1, choose your primary method. Based on your assessment from 1 week, choose one primary approach, whether that's the gentle no cry methods if you're not comfortable with any crying. If you're doing a gradual method like the chair method, if you want the middle ground, or if you're all in and you're like, get me done with this, and you want the direct methods like controlled crying, if you want faster results that way. Second step, identify your support strategies. What will you use alongside your primary method? Do you have your environment under control? The dark room, the white noise, routine modifications. Make sure that you are on board with your routine so you can get the best opportunity for sleep. Feeding adjustments. Make sure the feedings are in the daytime as much as you need to. If it means cluster feeding as we get closer to your chosen bedtime, do it. And if you have any comfort items or sleep associations you want to keep, whether that's rocking till they're drowsy or using pacifier or lovey, you decide what you're ready to use. And then step 3 is setting your timeline. Choose a start date. You need to be consistent for about 2 weeks starting on that start time. So make sure that you don't have travel plans. You don't foresee any drastic family changes, things like that. You want to have check-in points consistently at 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month to make sure we're making progress. And then have an end date for your current approach. If you haven't seen a big change and you're not seeing the improvement that you want, it's time to reevaluate. Step 4, prepare your environment. Make any necessary room changes like we talked about. You want to gather your supplies, do the white noise machine, have the blackout curtains. Make sure your partner and your caregivers are on the same page and plan for your own support during the process. Like we talked about with mental health, make sure your support is in place so you can give the support to your baby as they're learning how to sleep. Step 5, create your backup plan because we always need a backup plan. What will you do if your baby gets sick during sleep training? How will you handle major schedule disruptions? What's the plan if the method isn't working after 2 weeks? Step 6, document your plan. Write it down. Include your chosen method and why. Write down your specific steps you'll follow. Write down how you'll handle the setbacks. Write down your success metrics and your check-in dates. If it's written down, it's easy to refer back to when you're in those stressful moments. Your sample timeline could look like week 1, you implement your new routine and your environmental changes. Week 2, you start your chosen sleep method. Week 3 and 4, continue consistency. Make your minor adjustments as needed, but by month 2, you're fine-tuning and establishing maintenance strategies. Remember, creating a sleep plan isn't one and done. It's going to change as your baby grows and develops, and your plan needs to develop as well. Don't forget, you do have help out there. If you need professional help for your sleep training, there are pediatric sleep consultants. There are lactation consultants if breastfeeding is part of your plan. There's your pediatrician if you have any medical concerns. There's mental health professionals for parental support. There are postpartum doulas for hands-on help. There's also online resources, which can be evidence-based sleep websites, parent support groups, apps for sleep tracking. Don't become obsessed with data. Use it as you need it, but don't get overly curious and anxious about what's out there. There are great books for different approaches. There's The Happy Sleeper for gentle methods, Healthy Sleep Habits, Happy Child for more direct approaches, Sweet Sleep for breastfeeding and co-sleeping. There's The Baby Whisper for the easy method if you need a refresher on that. Build your village. Identify 2 or 3 people that you can call during difficult nights. Find one person who can give you a break during the day. Connect with other parents going through similar challenges, and consider hiring help if it's within your budget and if you're at your wit's end. Expect and plan for regressions. They're normal. Be flexible as your baby grows and changes, but maintain realistic expectations. Celebrate the progress, not just the perfection. And remember that good sleep habits are a skill that develop over time. It's not expected within the first 3 days. Be patient. Remember that creating a family sleep plan isn't about finding the perfect method. It's about finding the right method for your family at this stage of your lives. What works now might need adjustment in a few months, and that's completely normal too. Remember the key principles. Start with realistic expectations. Choose a method that aligns with your values and comfort level. Be consistent, but also flexible. Prioritize everyone's mental health, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Your baby's sleep will improve. It might not happen as quickly as you hoped or look exactly like you imagined, but with patience, consistency, and the right support, your family will find a rhythm that works. Most importantly, trust yourself. You know your baby better than anyone out there, and you know it better than any book, video, or expert. Use your evidence-based information to inform your decisions, but trust your instincts to guide you. I hope this series has given you the knowledge and confidence to create a plan that truly works for your family. If this series has been helpful and valuable to you, please consider sharing it with other parents who might be struggling with good sleep. Information should be accessible to everyone, and your share might be the one thing that gets another family through the rest that they desperately need. Remember, you've got this, and you don't have to figure it out alone. See you on the next one.